Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the 1955 science fiction classic, This Island Earth. Of course, this movie came at a time in the 1950s when you have a lot of science fiction films that came out. Don't forget, you also had War of the Worlds, you had The Day the Earth Stood Still, you had a bunch of science fiction movies in the night. Most of them were like the B movie type. They came from outer space, they came from beneath the sea, Earth versus Flying Saucers. You have a lot of these science fiction films that came out at that time, and this one was no different. It does have like a series. I mean, if you watch a lot of these science fiction films from the 1950s, they're all pretty much the same. And of course, it varies from movie to movie, the plot a little bit, but it's all pretty much the same basic formula. You go from A to B to C. This movie has, of course, stars. I forgot the names of the two characters. I'm drawing a blank right now. But you could look for Russell Johnson, who played the professor on Gilligan's Island. He was in this movie. That's the only one that I remember by name who stars in this movie. But it's because when you play like a secondary character, he's like he's like on screen for maybe 5 minutes and he gets killed off. I should mention that. Of course, this movie stars this particular professor, the scientist, who's working with his partner, and this one particular day, his plane gets taken down by a UFO. Safely, I might add. So they know this UFO is going around on Earth, and they realize they got this package from this alien species. And tell him to get instructions to how to build this thing. So he builds it, and it's like a communication device between himself and the aliens. And he says, "We want to recruit you because we need your scientific help." He says, "Why do you need my help?" And he goes, "What do you need my help for? You're obviously an advanced race. What do you need my help for?" And they go, "Well, because we don't know about atomic power. Because we don't have it in our world, and you have it in your world, and we have you and other scientists who work in that, top scientists who work in that particular scientific field, so we don't have in our planet, and we need your help because we are at war with with another planet or a neighboring planet in our part of the galaxy, and we need help to protect ourselves from this other alien species." So that got the scientist's idea, and he meets this woman who he met years earlier when they were in college, and she played the love interest. While this was going on, they meet up with Russell Johnson's character, and they find out they're all captured there, and they're doing some real freaky stuff with our minds, and we don't know what the hell to do. And so they get all three of them get the idea of escaping the aliens, and they were all in the car, and Russell and the aliens kept attacking the car or this van they were in, and the two main characters, they both get out of the car, and Russell Johnson stayed in the car driving on the road, and he gets zapped by this ray from the alien ship, and then get killed, and the other two scientists, the man and the woman there, they find a plane. And I should mention this particular scene that I'm going to be describing was used in the 1982 movie E.T. The famous scene, that part of the scene was unfortunately cut for the home video releases of E.T. I'm talking about the DVD and the old 1988 VHS release, which I mentioned in my video cut scenes from movies video, which is one of my earliest videos, so please check it out on my YouTube channel. There's a scene where they're in the plane, and here comes the spaceship, or the stereotypical spaceship they use in the movie, and they use like this tractor beam, and the guy goes, "They're pulling us up." That scene was used in E.T. when that clip was used in the movie E.T. when E.T. is watching TV, and that's the movie that was being played on the television. And ironically, both films were filmed by or produced by Universal. So I guess they had the rights to air because both E.T. and This Island Earth was Universal made movies. Anyway, while E.T. was watching this particular scene from This Island Earth, Elliot was in the principal's office, and after releasing the famous frog scene, when he releases all the frogs, and he's singing that scene. And when E.T. was watching the scene, so they're pulling us up, and the plane goes up into the spaceship. Elliot is in a chair in the principal's office, and the chair is rising with him in it, copying the scene from This Island Earth. That scene was completely cut, and I found out why, because when I made this video, someone made a comment. The reason why is because Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones and Han Solo, respectively, played the principal. Even though you never heard his voice, you never see his face. He was filmed from the back, so you never saw his face, you never heard his voice, so you don't know it was Harrison Ford. But they used Harrison Ford in that scene for some reason. I guess they couldn't get anybody else to play the part of the principal. But like I said, you never heard his face, you never heard his voice. But because it's Harrison Ford in that scene playing the principal, they cut that scene out. It was in the original theatrical release back in 1982. But ever since it came out on video or DVD, that scene's been cut. That scene was never even used as a bonus feature for deleted scenes feature on the DVD, because that's the scene that everybody's talking about. It's been cut. Plus another scene I mentioned from E.T. So please check out the video if you haven't seen it, folks. So after the scene when they're in the spaceship, the two scientists. Now we'll go back to This Island Earth. The people on the ship told them, or the alien that they met, or they have the recruiter them, told them why they needed that help and explained the whole thing. So they took the two remaining scientists to the alien homeworld, which is a long way, and they had to go through this whole tube with the processing so they could be adjusted to their environment. And they get there and they find the whole planet's being destroyed by these other aliens for the neighboring planet that they're at war with. And so they had to, when they found out, or when the leader of these aliens found out that they have free will and they believe in God and all that stuff, they're not going to take our minds away and stuff, the alien who recruited them said, I'm not going to let you, I'm not going to do that to you guys. What the leader wanted me to do, and I'm going to do that to you too. I'm going to get you guys out of here. So they went back to the ship and they took off and they went back to Earth. And of course they barely made it back to Earth. And the alien who recruited them, spoiler for those of you who didn't see this movie, he dies at the end of the movie, but the two scientists, they happen to live and they're okay, and that's how the movie ends. Like I said, it is a good movie, but I've seen so much. I know I haven't seen every single one of these movies, the science fiction films from the 1950s, but all of them are pretty much basically the same plot. I mean, each movie varies a little bit with the premise of it a little bit, but it all pretty much ends the same way. When the aliens die and the humans live, or the scientist survives and the aliens die. So it's always the same stupid premise, and but at least they make it entertaining. And This Island Earth is definitely one of the better science fiction films from the 1950s, and of course it's copying. All these movies are pretty much ripping each other off from the because they don't have, even back then in the 1950s, they're not that creative with the writing. The special effects were pretty good for its time. I mean it's true, it's 1955, and you didn't have CGI to fall back on back then. So any movie that has special effects in it, especially back then in the 1950s, were pretty impressive. Especially like War of the Worlds or Earth vs. Flying Saucers and other movies that I reviewed already. And those special effects were, it's kind of it's kind of like cheesy now in 2020. But it's like some movie that's like 60. I think it was like what's a 65-year-old movie. You could tell how lame or dated the special effects were, and so is the plot. The acting might be a little out there and stuff. But the movie is entertaining for what it is, and I do recommend this movie, especially if you have to be a science fiction fan like I am. So this is my review of the movie This Island Earth. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. And you check out all my reviews and on my YouTube channel at WDY.com, that's all WDY, and that's C.com. Homepage, you know, reviewer Christy Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.